Very excited to welcome on Christian Humphreys, who's getting ready to have his name called in the upcoming NHL draft here this weekend. Christian, first off, thanks for joining us here. What's going on? You're out on vacation at your beach house right now. What are you spending the summer doing preparing for the upcoming season?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm just basically trying to look forward to next season, obviously. This weekend's going to be super excited. So I'm looking forward to it a lot, but still training as hard as I can for next season.
Growing up, what first got you into hockey?
Yeah, I think for me, obviously, my older brother, he would always play a bunch. And my mom took me to a rink whenever I was 2 years old. And usually we are crying to get off the ice. And my mom said I was crying when she took me off the ice. So I think whenever I'm at that young of age, I think it kind of just picked up and I loved it so much.
Family's been a big part of your development. Talk about how important your brothers and your family have been towards getting you to this point in your career.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ups and downs, and so there's someone that I can go toward whenever I want. I think just every step of the way they've been with me, whether it's the decisions I've made or what I've wanted to do. So they've been so supportive to me.
You talked on the NHL Network about the impact of your brother who was born with disability and overcame cancer. My sister has special needs and Down syndrome, and listening to you talk about that was pretty cool. So, kind of wanted to bring that up here as well. Your brother plays sled hockey now and overcame a lot of what doctors said that he wouldn't be able to do. Talk about growing up with him, your relationship with him, and how you've been able to take inspiration from your brother's story towards your own career.
Yeah, I think for me, I think I just look at him every day and he puts a smile on my face, and he's overcame so much and he wants to be a normal kid like us. So I love giving back to him. I love whatever he does. I mean, he's just so fortunate to be at the spot where he is now. And it's awesome. Whenever I'm on a sled with him, he'll skate circles around me. So just knowing how gifted I am and lucky just to do what I love every single day. And he's just such an inspiration to me, and I couldn't ask for a better brother for sure.
So, Christian, Casey and I got to see you play this year at Clarkson in an exhibition game with your USA NTDP team. So, walk us through what a day in the life is like at the development program.
Yeah, I can go off the Clarkson trip. So we played St. Lawrence the night before, and we were in the same hotel. It's obviously super close. So you'll wake up around 8 o'clock. You'll go to team breakfast, and then we'll go on a team walk wherever. We'll walk a mile or two, and then a bunch of guys love to nap, but maybe I'll get on it this year. I don't like napping, so I'll hop on like a Netflix show or sit with my buddy, and we'll just talk about the game or watch video for the game. And then you have your pregame meal around 3 o'clock. So you get a lot of downtime, which is really nice. And then if it's a 7 o'clock game, you're doing 4:15 pre-scout. And then we actually leave late. We leave at like 4:45. We only show up 2 hours before away game. So and obviously warm up and do all the stuff and get ready. So it's not that complicated, but yeah, it worked for a good amount of time.
How about when you're back in Michigan, the normal day to day of like a practice schedule?
Yeah, for us it was a lot. Obviously, with schooling was probably one of the best aspects for us. I think that you do 8 to 9:30 school, and you'd be done, and then we had 10 early graduates, so we had a bunch of guys done in January. So you're not doing school hours, so you're really just focusing on hockey, and that's probably the biggest outcome that you get to be a pro. And I think for us it was so easy to do everything. And after school you'd get changed in your gitch. We'd have 9:45 warm up, and then you'd be on ice if you had skills around 10:30 to 11, and then practice speed from 11 to 1. And then we work out from 1:30 to around 3 o'clock. So it's a long day for sure, but it was super beneficial to all of us.
Heard it compared to like a military style regiment. and obviously it works. The program's pumped out a long list of top-ranked NHL stars year after year. Who are some of the guys that have come from the USA team that you've looked up to most as you've grown up playing?
Yeah, I think for me, I think probably just the Hughes brothers. And I think obviously Jim's my agent, so I think that he's done just a great job. And I think that everything they do, obviously they went to Michigan, obviously besides Jack, but I think just the legacy that they have, it's kind of hard to beat. And obviously, um, four boys in our family, so they have three, so it's kind of close. So yeah, obviously they've done a great job.
What are the emotions like being able to suit up every time you guys go to play a game wearing the red, white, and blue jersey?
Yeah, I think that'd probably be one of our biggest things. I think that the first time you throw it on, you can't really put into words. Obviously, you're representing your country, and it's a lot bigger than just hockey. So we try to put on the best face that we can every day, and it was great just to be able to have the 2 years to do that. And I think looking back at it, there's not a moment that one of us is going to regret for sure.
Every player on that team is committed to go D1 next year, and some might be heading straight to the NHL. Who have some of your favorite teammates been to play alongside, and who are some of the guys that you think will make a big splash in the coming years with you in the NHL?
I think for me, my best friend was James Higgins there, so we have a lot of similarities, and I think that he's just done a fantastic job, and he represents himself on and off the ice, and he's someone that we all look up to. I think he's just not only an unbelievable player, just a great person to be around. I think for the NHL draft, I think there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to fly under the radar, and I think you're going to be surprised with what Teddy Stiga is going to do. So he's going to be a great hockey player, and obviously, whatever number he gets picked, it's just a number, and he's going to prove it.
I've got the line chart from when we played you guys here, and at that point you had 31 points in just 23 games played, and continued on a pretty good pace throughout the season. Talk about your performance and what the development team specifically to you has been able to develop most in your game.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, I mean, we're all a bunch of 18-year-olds playing against, our first college game was Western, you're playing against 27-year-olds. So I think that probably just that mature aspect of the game. I think, we're young pros at that point, and whether it's playing in a sold out North Dakota rink or even in Clarkson, I think, that was probably one of the most fun games of the year. And I think just all aspects of us and always being the young guys wherever we go. I think that just carrying ourselves that way is pretty big for sure.
I played in our Clarkson alumni game this past weekend, and I can hardly skate. So going from playing against 60-year-olds in beer league to the jump of playing against some guys that are in the ECHL right now was pretty astounding. So I can't imagine the benefit that gives you guys. Looking back on your time with the development program, now that you'll be on your way out here, what are going to be some of the favorite memories that you'll take away from your time with the U.S. national team?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's not like juniors. I mean, you're with the guys for 2 years, no matter what. And I think you get so close with them, and we'll still talk about it. Like, man, like even like last week, I was on the phone with Whips, and he's like, "Man, I miss the guys. Like, I wish we could just be together." And I think that's probably one of the biggest part. You get so close with the guys from 17th year to 18th year, and they truly are like a family. And whenever we leave, obviously it's probably one of the worst parts ever. So I think probably just the connections that'll for sure be one of the biggest parts that I'll miss for sure.
So next year you will head to the University of Michigan, which was my top school before choosing to stay at Clarkson.
You made the
When
right
did you
choice, Beth.
decide when did you decide that that was the right fit for you to continue your career going to the NCAA and staying in Michigan?
Yeah, I think for me, obviously, just the history they have and everything that they've done. And I had my spring term last or 2 weeks ago, and I was there for 2 weeks. And I just think the culture there is something that you can't even put into words. I think the guys are just so close, and your hockey value on ice has nothing to do with off ice, and some teams it does. And I think it's just unbelievable the guys and coaches and just everything they have there. It's something that you can't really put into words for sure. And from the hockey aspect. They play really big offense and they like scoring goals. So I think it was just kind of a no-brainer for me for sure.
Somehow the trip up Route 11 didn't change many of the guys in red, white, and blue's decision to commit to the green and gold, but you'll go to Michigan next year. What are you most excited about as you get ready for next year playing college hockey? You guys have already gotten a taste of it, as you mentioned there, but now every single weekend playing in the NCAA.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, we had 16 games, so obviously it's a big difference. But obviously, just to get your foot in the door and kind of get that first nerve out of it, like you've already been there, so it definitely helps a lot for sure. And I just think playing a college style schedule, you're playing for your school now, and I think that's honestly probably one of the coolest traditions ever. And I think we're just really excited, all of us are. And I know looking back in a couple years now, we're gonna all not want to be there anymore. So it's gonna be awesome for sure.
Similar to development program, Michigan's been home to a long list of NHL stars, on top of being on top of the national rankings pretty frequently. Talk about the thought next year of possibly playing in front of a sold out crowd in the Frozen Four. What do you imagine that being like?
Yeah, I think for us, I would say nervous, but I think we've played in so many big crowds that it's definitely going to be a lot easier. But obviously, when you're playing for a Frozen Four, it's going to be tough for sure. And I think just knowing that, if you lose this game, you're packing your bags and going home. So I think that'd probably be the biggest aspect of it. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do it again this year.
You've scored a lot of goals, including in the IAHFs. What goal so far to this point in your career? And I'm sure there's going to be plenty in the league that are going to be way more special than that. But to this point, what goal would you say you look back on as the most memorable?
Um, I'd say probably one of the coolest was probably honestly U17 year playing in the World Challenge. We were playing Sweden to go undefeated in the bracket and gave us a first round bye. And there was probably like end of the second, starting the third tie hockey game. It was 2-2 and lucky enough to get one on the power play. And I think that was probably one of the coolest goals in a while because obviously, whenever you're playing international hockey, like I said, it's a complete different stage and you can't really put in words for sure. But that one was definitely up there.
This week, your name is expected to be one of the top called. You're ranked as high as the low 30s for top prospects coming up. Are you going to be making the trip out to Las Vegas here to step up on the stage when that happens?
Yeah, I'm not sure right now. I think for me, I think it's just gonna be a great day with my family, and I think that's probably the most important part. They've done so much for me, and I really couldn't thank them much more. And I think for me, just I'm trying to get back to the basics, and obviously for me, it's a number. If I go second round, that's great. If I go in the fifth round, that's great. I think for me, just proving what I have to prove next year. So obviously, I'm gonna be looking forward to the day and spending it with my family, and yeah, I can't wait to get it started.
So, what will it mean to you and your family when your name gets called this weekend?
Yeah, I think for me, I think it's just they've done so much for me ever since I was a little kid. And, I think it's going to mean a lot to my brother James for sure. I think just him being by my side and kind of just getting to relate stuff with him, and he's always looked up to me as a big support. So I like to show as much as I can to him, and it'll be a fun day for sure.
When in your career did this become a reality that you were someday going to be an NHL draft pick?
I think for me, I think I've never really thought of it like that. I think that obviously I knew I had a little more skill than other people. And at the end of the day, I really think it's not a job. I think it's, I love it. So I think it's just, some guys will get sick of it and some guys just love it as a passion. So I make jokes all the time. I think I could play till I'm 40. So I think it's just I have that drive that other kids don't. And I'm lucky to be born with it for sure.
Your family's got some ties with Kearney, so if you decide to keep playing after 40, I'll have a beer league spot on my roster for you. We could use some
Yeah.
NHL talent.
Oh yeah, yeah, love it there.
Growing up, who's a player that you really liked watching, that you admired, that you think someday you hope to model your game after, or maybe be compared to by the NHL scouts?
Yeah, I mean, a no-brainer would be Crosby, but obviously I looked up to him. But if I'm being realistic, that I can model my game after, I'd probably say Jordan Eberle. I think that ever since he got traded to Seattle, he's been unbelievable, so dynamic, so offensive, and I just think that everything that he's done and gone through, I think he's been lights out. And funny thing is, whenever we're both on 2-on-1s, he's always looking at the net, but he knows he's going to pass it. And it's almost like the same thing that we do. So that was kind of the first thing that I noticed. I'm like, God, man, maybe this is my player. Like, so yeah, probably am.
Growing up, you have been a big Pittsburgh Penguins fan. What would it mean to you if you end up getting drafted by your hometown team?
Yeah, I think that probably I couldn't really put into words. I think that obviously playing in the Pens program for 5 years and just being a Pittsburgh kid going to games growing up, and I think it'd probably be a dream come true. And obviously, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, great. I'll still love them. They'll still be my favorite team. So I think just basically just yeah, living a childhood dream for sure.
Now and out there to the hockey gods, the Pittsburgh Penguins have 2 second-round draft picks, so we'll wait and see. That's one that we're rooting for as well. Last one for you here, and again, we really appreciate the time you've taken with us. Growing up as a kid, and think back to the times when you're out on the ODRs or when you're playing with your buddies in the front yard in the driveway. What was your biggest dream growing up as a kid in hockey? When you're playing in those big games against your buddies 2-on-2 and you're scoring that game-winning goal, what were you playing for?
I think for me, whenever I'm playing, I just like to win. So whether it's like a backyard or ODR game, whenever you score that game winner, obviously you're gonna go crazy. And I think just you have those childhood dreams of man, like I wish I could score a game 7 winner or something like that, or I wish I could win the U18 World Championship, which obviously is kind of sucks as we fell up short. But I just think that's where you're hanging out with your buddies, you're having a good time, and you don't really put that in reality until it happens. So I think I'm kind of just looking forward to it.
Christian, thanks so much for the time. Looking forward to hearing your name called coming up here and 20 plus years down the road after your 40th birthday and the retirement announcement. I'll have the contract ready to sign up for
Yeah,
the adult hockey league team. Good luck this weekend. Enjoy
yeah,
it.
yeah. Thank you so much, Casey. Thanks, Jenna.
Thanks, Christian.